When we talk about the history of science in the world, how often do we mention women? Or better yet, when we talk about the history of science in the Islamic world, how often do we mention women? Were Muslim women just at home, watching from the sidelines? No. They studied. They were teachers. They were scientists and founded universities. In this video, we want to prove together that not only were Muslim women present in science, but they also built pillars of Islamic civilization. Stay with me until the end of this video, because you'll hear names you've never heard before. Names that truly deserve to be mentioned again. But to start the discussion, I have to say that from the very beginning, Islam stated that seeking knowledge is obligatory for every man and woman. In Islam's view, knowledge is light and ignorance is darkness, and this light is not just for men. Every Quranic verse revealed about knowledge begins with "O you who believe" or "O people." All of them, from a linguistic perspective, include women as well and are not exclusive to men. Because in the Arabic language, it is easy to distinguish between male and female addressees. So any verse that begins with these phrases is meant for both women and men. But now, I want to give another verse as an example. For example, in Surah Ra'd verse 16 it says, "Are the blind and the seeing equal? Is the light of knowledge equal to the darkness of ignorance and not knowing?" Or in Surah Zumar verse 9 it says that the learned and the ignorant are not equal, and only those with intellect understand this difference. So, when the Quran holds knowledge in such high regard, how could it possibly deprive women of it? Continuing with what is mentioned in the Quran, I said that the Prophet also behaved in ways that show seeking knowledge was very important for women in Islam. For example, the Prophet would organize separate classes and gatherings for women. These scholarly gatherings were held in the Prophet's Mosque, and only women participated in these classes. The women would ask questions, receive answers, and even teach themselves. Sulaim and Shifa bint Abdullah are among the women who were teachers during the time of the Prophet of Islam. Let me give a few more examples of learned and scholarly women. For example, Aisha bint Abi Bakr narrated more than 2,100 hadiths and was also active in discussions of jurisprudence and history. Or Fatima bint Hussein held public Qur'an interpretation sessions in Medina. Rabi'a al-Adawiyya was active in the fields of ethics and mysticism, and she founded a school of asceticism and spiritual knowledge in Basra. Ya Zainab bint Kamal was a hadith scholar for over 60 years, and many of the great scholars of Damascus were her students. All these women were not just students, they were teachers, founders of universities and classrooms, and pioneers in women's education in the world during those years. But let me give you some examples of women who established universities and classrooms and also managed them. For example, Fatima al-Fihri, the founder of the University of al-Qarawiyyin in Morocco, one of the oldest universities in the world that is still active today, which was established in the 9th century AD. Turkan Khatun in Iran and Sultan Razia in India established schools, libraries, and scientific centers. Or a woman named Rabia Khatun, who established a library specializing in the fields of jurisprudence, medicine, and mathematics. This means that women were not only students, but also supporters and patrons of science. In conclusion, I must say that Muslim women have been present not only at home and not only in the classroom, but at every stage of the production and development of knowledge. If you were inspired by these learned women, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so that if I post another video on this topic, you'll be notified and can watch it too. Also, leave me a comment. Did you think that the Prophet of Islam had given such a clear and direct command that seeking knowledge is obligatory for everyone?